I really love Haikyuu, so when the existence of a new volleyball anime was flagged to me, I was excited. And I didn't plan on making this video. I watched the first episode of 2.43 last night, and I enjoyed it so much and could speak about it so much that I decided to make a whole video on it. Which is weird, because this is probably going to be my first anime video. And I know on the community tab I said that I was making the My Hero Academia video, and that's still coming out. That just is a lot more of a process than this video is. That video I had to write a script. This video, I'm completely freehanding it. I'm just sitting in front of my mic and talking with whatever I think about this show. Because I have a lot of thoughts. As I said, Haikyuu is probably in my top 3 anime. Volleyball is one of my favourite sports. I really enjoy watching it. I would want to play it, but of course there's an ongoing pandemic right now, and if you're out playing volleyball and passing the virus to people, you're a prick. So why not watch an anime about volleyball while we wait? But of course most of you have probably already watched Haikyuu, so why not watch a new anime about volleyball? If you haven't watched the first episode of 2.43 yet, that's okay. I won't be spoiling stuff until later in this video, so feel free to stick around for around the first half of this video where I just kind of give a light plot synopsis and maybe it'll get you interested. Please give this show a try, because from the first episode, I enjoyed it, and I don't tend to watch, like upcoming new anime that often. So let's begin with my freehand, non-scripted review, I guess. While I was watching 2.43, it was really difficult not to compare it to Haikyuu, because I mean, come on, they're both animes about volleyball. It's like if an anime about ninjas who spat fireballs came out now. It would be impossible not to compare it to Naruto. That's just how it works. When two things are so similar, you have to compare them. And to be honest, I love Haikyuu so much, my biggest worry coming into this show was it won't live up to Haikyuu, but from this one episode alone, I can tell, not only can it live up to Haikyuu, it's also different enough in its own right to, stand out and be good and stand on the same level as Haikyuu, and that's something I'm really excited about. So the basic plot is we have our two main characters. We've got Chika, who every time they say his name, I think of Chika from Kaguya-sama, and that's not gonna get out of my head. And we have Kuroba, and they used to be childhood friends living in a rural town together. Just think Inaba from Persona 4. It's essentially Inaba. Anyway, Chika then moves away to Tokyo for personal circumstances and becomes a volleyball player, and this is where the episode starts, with Chika sat on the bench during one of his matches thinking, I can do better when most of his team mess up. During the match, his coach gets a phone call and we find out someone was in hospital, and that's all the opening is. It creates a mystery, but one that we think we know. So from there, we immediately cut to Chika on the train, going back to this rural town that he grew up in. And after we spend a bit of time with him on the train, just seeing them brooding, looking a lot like Suki from Haikyuu, which is again another comparison I couldn't stop thinking about, we cut back to the school and see Kuroba excited to see his friend again, even though he's pretending not to be. We also find out that Kuroba is in his school's volleyball club, which, hey, I guess is a happy coincidence. I guess. Anyway, Kuroba runs to the school gate to meet his old friend, and Chika completely fucking ignores him. Poor guy. And it turns out, in his time away, Chika has become a bit of an aloof dickhead. Anyway, Chika turns up to the school and he begins practicing volleyball by himself, because even though there is a volleyball club, it's not very active, but he wants to play volleyball. But anyway, after some help from Kuroba, Chika manages to keep their half of the court and the volleyball team actually starts to show up to practice. That's just about the summary I'm gonna give. There's a lot more to this episode than what I've said. To be honest, what I've said is probably only about the first half of the episode, and there's a lot more aspects going on here, but it's very interesting the way this show is set up. By the end of the episode, we have pretty much met the entirety of the volleyball team, which is very different to, again, Haikyuu, where the entire first season of Haikyuu is like getting the band back together, meeting the characters, and I don't know how that's going to reflect on the characters, because Haikyuu, we know the characters really well, and we learn a lot about them, and I feel like that's because of their staggered entry. Dumping them all on us at once, might be a bit overwhelming. The characters might not get the time to shine. But I don't think that's what this show's about. Whereas I would say Haikyuu is a volleyball show through and through. Haikyuu pretty much goes training arc, tournament arc, training arc, tournament arc, back to back, and there's character moments spliced in, and it's amazing and action-packed. This honestly seems like more of a drama, which I think doesn't need that outstanding characters for it. Like, again, if we compare this to Haikyuu episode 1, the entirety of that episode is spent on the court. I'd say about 5 minutes of this episode was spent on a court. A lot of this episode is spent outside of the school, not even like in the school near the courts, nowhere near the courts, focusing on Chika's life before he came to the village and how that's going to affect the volleyball team going forward. That's pretty much all I can say about it without spoiling it, but trust me, it is really interesting. That's the biggest reason why I feel like this show can stand separately from Haikyuu. It can stand on its own 2 feet while being a volleyball drama, whereas Haikyuu's probably more of a typical sports anime action. I'm not saying one's better than the other, I'm just saying they can stand together, and I feel like if this show keeps going at the pace it's going, it's going to be very good. Right, so with that out of the way, go watch the episode. Now let's talk spoilers. So the big spoiler about this episode is about the hospital call we saw in the opening. I thought it would be like one of Chika's family members, and it would create some tension where he has to perform well at volleyball because that family member, he needs to honour them or whatever. I thought it was going to be something generic like that, but holy shit, did this show have balls. The twist is that Chika has a bit of a Kageyama side to him. He gets very into it and gets very aggressive, and it shows him having a go at one of his older teammates for not being good at volleyball, and he pushed this kid to the point of attempting suicide because of how far he pushed him. And all of a sudden, we have a sports anime with a morally grey protagonist? And that's like insane to think about it going forward, that these characters aren't perfect. They have stuff going on outside volleyball, unlike Haikyuu. I know they obviously have stuff going on, but that's very court-centered, whereas this one is more like a social drama based around volleyball. And that twist, where he pushed someone that far, really puts our protagonist into question. And it's interesting to see, right, he's the glue that holds the team together. He's the good player. It's interesting to see how the other members' faith in him is going to hold once they find out about that. And it puts like a ticking time bomb on the story of whether he's going to lash out again, you know? I'll probably put this in the edit, but it's important to say now that I haven't read the source material. I've just watched the first episode of this anime, and it's purely speculation right now. I'm just really interested to see where this show goes. I've made the title, Can This Be the Next Haikyuu? And honestly, I think it can. I think it can be the next big sports anime. I think it can stand level with Haikyuu. I am so interested in where this show goes, and I would like you to tell me in the comments down below what you think about this, because this is really interesting. It's a really good discussion to have. So leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more content like this. It was interesting just to talk shit for 8 minutes, really. I haven't planned any of this video. None of it was scripted. So I'd like to know what you think, because this may have gone awfully, but I've decided recently to not care about creative integrity and just put out whatever videos I want to make. So if you enjoyed this video, I'm glad you enjoyed. Comment down below what you think, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.